Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you a bit of a visual guide to the changes in the big Season 2 patch. So we had the patch notes, but now the patch is currently live as of the time of you watching this video, so you can just go and check it out yourself. But I want to show you some of the big stuff. Now before any of that, I do want to say, just here in the early goings, I'm recording this very early in the morning by the way, there seems to be some initial backlash of the patch. So if I gotta just give you my hot take right now, one, hey, I love this patch. I love it, I love it, I love it. There are certain things I don't like, which we'll go over in the thing. Certain characters lost some stuff. Certain changes got hit by the universal changes. Rather, certain things got hit by the universal changes I don't necessarily agree with. But overall, I think this is amazing for the overall health of the game. Brain dead offense took a massive hit, and generally speaking, overall, the big focus of this patch is this game is going to be a much more neutral-heavy game. So you're going to have to learn your fundamentals now versus just your stupid corner setups. So me personally, big fan. Some of you guys might disagree on certain things. Like even my personal team took some big hits. But overall, I gotta say, even with that in mind, big fan of the patch. So anyways, let's just talk about the first thing here. So here we are in training mode, and what we're going to show off first now is the backdash. So the backdash goes back a little bit further than it used to, and it goes back a little bit further, a little bit faster. So what does that mean? Well, here's a case example. So yeah, that just happened. So Vegito now misses if you backdash right away after Vanish. So this is backdashing after Vanish is generally one of the main ways to avoid pressure after Vanish. And Vegito was one of the characters that you could backdash out because it hit so far so fast, and now you can. So let's bring in another culprit here. So 16, much the same here. 16 has very long grown man arms, and if you tried to backdash away, you're going to get hit, and now you can backdash out. So that's great. Now, that said, certain people still get to be poster boys for certain forms of offense. So Cell, you backdash him, and what's going to happen here? You still get hit by the second hit of the auto combo. So you can't counterattack out, none of that stuff, you're still going to get smacked. So certain people still have privilege. So the pool has been shortened now, but certain characters still, you still have to respect them a lot more after Vanish than some, as you can see there. So now let's talk the changes to the supers. So you may have heard that the damage to supers has been reduced if you do multiple level 1s in a row. So Super Saiyan Goku is basically the poster boy for the double level 1 solo. So let's just have a look here. So basic combo, we're not going to do anything fancy. So the first super is going to do the same as it always did. No big deal there. Now the warp follow-up. So how much does it do? A lot less than it did before, as you can see there. So the Warp Kamehameha used to add quite a bit extra damage, and as we see there, it's now basically in the 200-ish range. Quick cut so I could do the math, about 270 specifically. So yeah, as you can see there, the damage has been reduced, so a lot of cases where you can get multiple level 1s, so Super Saiyan Goku, a lot of certain tag combos, just across the board, you're going to do less. So yeah, it does hurt some people, and this also will scale level 3s, by the way, just so you know. It will hurt some people, and there's more than just that. So I'm going to show you specific examples of my team here, because something has changed that's not just what's on paper. So this combo I'm going to show you right now specifically. This is one of my main combos I do every time I get a medium lariat with Broly. So we're going to do the same while we do, and like the damage is going to get nerfed past the first Goku Super, and that's fine. That's expected even. That's great. So here we do, and we're going to do reduced damage. But this doesn't hit anymore. This combo straight up doesn't work anymore, and I don't know why. At first I thought it was just because I'm really bad, because, my execution is not the best. And then after I fail like 20 times in a row, I'm like, something's up. So I'm not sure what change makes this the way it is now, because this combo just straight up doesn't work. It's not that the combo does less damage, because the first part here, this part here does less damage. However, the follow-up here, once again, we're doing it again, just doesn't hit, and I'm not sure why. So I don't know what has changed specifically to make this the way it is, but yeah. So that's more than just a nerf super damage. It just doesn't work anymore. Also, quick note, so some level 1s and the other level 1s don't scale. So they did mention this wouldn't be every single super. So I do have one example to show you. And no, this is not an optimal combo. I don't play Blue Vegeta at all, but just to give you a quick example. So as you can see there, the held Niagara Punch there doesn't do as much damage as most level 1s because you get the wall bounce, but that works scaling as normal, and then you get the Gallic Gun, and that just scales just fine. So not all level 1 into level 1s are nerfed. That's just one example. I'm sure there's more out there, but just to go to show you. Now, I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy with some of the changes with the level 1s. Like, if you're a TM player, it definitely hurts some of your game plan. Like, as we just showed you here, my personal team here, the way I do things, does less damage, and just one of my setups just straight up doesn't work anymore. But it's not all doom and gloom. So one thing that's happened across the board, and the values are different from character to character, so I'll show you an example here. So level 3 minimum damage, the minimum damage you can do after a level 3 combo, has now gone up across the board. So here we have Android 16. His minimum scaling on his level 3 very famously did 1,616 damage, aka 1616. So now does 100 more damage, so does 1,716 damage. And that's just one example, you know, certain ones do more than others. So basically meta-wise, what they're trying to encourage, at least by my understanding, is they want you like level 1s into level 1s into a level 3. Versus like, you know, level 1 into, you call the next guy, then he does like 2 or 3 level 1s and then another level 1. So less damage overall in these specific scenarios, yes, absolutely. But as someone whose team personally got hit by this harder than most, I still think it's pretty alright in the end. You gotta adapt, yes, but more changes, as we'll talk about later, kind of reduce the gloom and doom factor for this for me personally. So now let's talk about throws in general. So one, Dragon Rush, it does less overall damage, not by much. It gains a little bit less bar, not by much, as you can see. But you can no longer do 2 Dragon Rushes in the same combo. So just to show you an example here, this is a personal combo I use a fair bit when I have an appropriate amount of bar, and it will no longer work. So I've already used 1 Dragon Rush here, and we're done. So Broly normally could Dragon Rush again a second time after that. Now, he still can Dragon Rush after his level 3 if you have not already used a Dragon Rush, so that part's unchanged. So like as you can see right here, that's fine. That has not changed at all, right? But I can't do the Dragon Rush, call the assist, and do level 3, and then Dragon Rush again, keep going. But it's not all doom and gloom again. Once again, this is a direct nerf for my team, but there are other changes. So I'll tell you right now before we move on here, other changes that are applicable besides just double Dragon Rush. So also you can't do double throws in the combo. So Piccolo, Hell Zone grenade corner setup here. So if you smack people down, you call Hell Zone, then you do down S, that will no longer work as well, just so you guys know. But the silver lining is a universal air Dragon Rush now will cause a sliding knockdown in the combo. So as you can see right here, hey, there's the sliding knockdown just like anyone else. And Broly's not really a character that can produce sliding knockdown. So characters for Broly, 21, stuff like that, Goku Blue, it's definitely going to be a very interesting asset. So what I'm going to show you right now is just a quick example of how you can adapt. So my old combo doesn't work so good no more, but with changes to the aerial Dragon Rush, I can instead use the Dragon Rush after the level 3 in a different manner like this. So I think I hit the level 3 a bit too early there, but you get the idea, right? So thanks to the new Air Dragon Rush changing and sliding knockdown, I can now change up the combo structure a little bit in a way that never worked before. So just basically, I know it sucks sometimes, like you gotta rethink somehow the things you did work before, but as you can see there are new options, so you just gotta think a little more critically now, just to get back to where you were, and hey, it's not too bad in the end. Like once again, as a guy whose team gets really affected by these changes, I'm pretty okay with it, especially with some of the other changes we're going to talk about that just basically are going to shift how the meta is now going to work. So now let's just talk about key gauge right now. So overall, in neutral and stuff, there will be slightly more bar gain as the person getting hit will gain slightly more bar than they used to. Not much, but just a little bit more bar than they used to. Now that said, so now the person spending bar, so we'll just assume you blocked a Hell Zone mix-up or something, right? So now I hit them with the Hell Zone, and now look at my bar gain, as you can see here. So my bar gain is pitiful, right? And it lasts a fair little bit there. You only saw in the middle of that second combo did it recover to the usual amount. So while this does not remove, Hell Zone snapback mix-ups, this does not remove Ghost Oki for Go Tanks. What it does is it makes them not infinitely self-sustaining. So if you get the successful combo after the Oki mix-up, then you won't just get the whole bar you just spent back like immediately. Now there is one thing about this that I don't think is intended. At least I hope to God not to, and I hope it's rectified pretty quick, and that's on Frieza. So Frieza counts as a super when going Golden Frieza. As it should. It's definitely a super move. You burn 3 bars, right? But immediately after going Golden Frieza, as you can see here, your bar gain is crippled. So yeah, I can't think this is intentional because this isn't a situation that would be meant to, what the patch intends to fix. But yeah, so just as you can see here, just the bar gain's nothing, right? So once again, I think this is a fully unintentional consequence of the change. So after you do your big combo or after you get your mix-up using a super, you will gain less bar if you successfully get a hit afterwards. That's fine. It basically rewards the aggressor a bit less and helps out the defender a bit more so they don't just get back in the same situation they were. And I think that's great. But for Golden Frieza, definitely an oversight in my opinion. Can't imagine this is intended. Yeah. This bar gain's just... it's pretty pitiful. So let's just hope that's an oversight and that will be patched fairly soon. So now let's talk about what is probably the biggest change in this patch, and that's guard canceling. So guard canceling, very much considered one of the weakest mechanics in the game, and for a lot of people just basically a waste of bar. So that's changed. So let's have a look at what's going to happen here. Oh hey, Piccolo doing the thing he always does. Nope, that isn't happening anymore. So the guard cancel is way more invincible than it used to be. So basically, in the face of just utterly brain-dead offense, guard cancel now has it beat. So I'm going to show you a couple quick examples here. And also, because I know as of the time of me recording this, a lot of people are complaining on Twitter, I'm also going to show you some counterplay to boot. So here's just a quick example one. So a lot of Gohan stuff here. You even if you guard cancel, you ran the hit of just, randomly getting smacked, no more. So as long as you block correctly, if he's just committed to the same old, you're just going to blow through it. So no more straight getting down heavied in the face, no more straight eating the machine gun legs in the face. That's not going to happen. So another example here, airtight pressure, Android 18, when she does everything right. I just recorded that mix up and I didn't block it correctly, right? So when she does everything right, there's no way out, it's all airtight. And now, with all this stuff here, nah, we don't have to respect none of this. So, all the brain dead setup, and once again, I say brain dead because I don't respect this stuff. I don't, okay? When you force me into something that just makes me flip coins and removes all player interaction, like you're not beating me, you're just making me guess wrong heads or tails, and I never respected that kind of stuff. So, that stuff is dead to rights. Now, does that mean stuff's unstoppable? No, of course not, right? It just means you can't go through the same motion you always went through and just make them flip coins till they guess wrong. So I'm just going to show you a couple examples of how to beat this stuff. So we're just going to do a very basic block string. Very basic, okay? So yeah, they're blocking, that's great. Oh, they switched. Cool, I'm just going to cancel my Armored Special Broly, beat him out for free. That's a specific example, right? This is a Broly specific example, but the heart behind it is much the same. Oh, you see him do it? You can still do a lot of the same stuff, right? If you have gaps in your block strings, then yeah, the guard cancel will beat you just as it always did if your block strings aren't tight, right? That was never an issue before. It was one of the few things that was good before, but generally speaking, you have to do a block strings in a way if you anticipate a guard cancel in the corner to just kind of go with it, right? So as long as they are just like, going for whatever, You know, like a Vanish isn't going to work now because of the invincibility. You have to think more about your block strings a little more critically than you had to. So once again, we just showed you a couple examples there, and a lot of people, any air invincible move too. So if you have a move designated as an uppercut, will be the homing dash for free, because it does count as a homing dash coming in, so it has the air property. Obviously Broly with the armor, anything with any invincibility, that kind of stuff. That'll all be there for free, and of course, you know, you can just kind of just stop and you know, put a little gaps in your strings and like anticipate it, because now that was punishable, but now this is more punishable on block than it's ever been before too. So it was already pretty punishable on block, and now it's like Omega level punishable on block. And also, the first example we showed you was mid-screen against Piccolo and against a very common setup, but guard canceling mid-screen is not going to be the best bet here, as I'll show you in a second. So say we're mid-screen here, we're just going to guard cancel against like the most basic pressure in the world. Yeah, you're going to get got. Like, I even had time to dash forward there, specifically, just to show that off. That's like how negative this thing is now. So yeah, giant mid-screen guard cancels are for the most part not going to be the answer, especially when like stuff like this can happen. That's just like a more advanced example. If you're closer to the corner, you can also vanish to mess up their trajectory, and they'll swing back into you in the corner, and then you can like down heavy them or whatever. So yeah, basically, you have to think a little more critically about your block strings. A lot of your old favorites are not going to be going the way they're going to be going. So you have to watch out, because now guard cancel is a very respectable mechanic. So you actually have to think about it. And me personally, as a person who since day one has complained about the lack of defensive measures in this game, we finally have a worthy defensive measure. It still costs you a bar, but now it's gets you out of just like the worst brain dead situations, and obviously it still has tons of counterplay. It's not a guarantee, as we just showed you. So overall, love the change. Now, that's not every single change in the patch, but those are the big ones and the ones that are most pertinent to me, at least as far as I'm concerned. So, the one reason I use Broly in a lot of this, besides the fact that Broly is obviously my main character, is I want to tell you how I think about how the meta is going to shift. So, a lot of what I showed you nerfed Broly. Can't do a lot of his old combos, a lot of his old setup with like medium lariat are gone. For him, the sliding knockdown on the Dragon Rush honestly isn't that big of a deal, because a lot of his best setups after knockdown rely on the fact that it's not a sliding knockdown, so I don't really consider that a big deal at all, honestly. Not to say it doesn't help, right, but like, it's not something you need. At versus 21 could probably get a lot more use out of it. But yeah, so a lot of things I talk about with Broly were negative in this video, right? And where do I think Broly is going to be going in the tier list after this patch? I think he's going up the tier list. So, and yeah, after everything I said, this is why I use Broly as an example. Because with stuff like the defensive changes in this game, just the overall changes, this game is going to be focused more on, not to say setups and, you know, corner pressure and all that's going away, because it's not. But this game, for lack of a better term, is going to be a little more honest now. There's going to be a lot more neutral play in this game than there was before. Because anything that's just stupid can get guard canceled out of for free and reset the neutral. And Broly's got one of the best neutrals in the game. For all of his flaws, because he has a lot of flaws, the one flaw he doesn't have is neutral. Between, you know, big normals, the threat of armored charges, TK air grabs, and the best key blast in the game, hands down. Even with all these changes that negatively affect Broly, Broly's going up the tier list just on the fact that more people got to play him at his own game now, and that's going to be a big buff. Now, I'm not saying he's skyrocketing to the top or nothing, right? But I'm just saying it's more than the sum of the changes that affect the meta, and I hope I explained that clearly enough. So even though Broly got stuff that directly hurt him in the end, due to the overall changes of the system and how the game's going to be going from now on, a character like Broly is going up the tier list for this. And there you have it. So overall, my personal opinion of the patch is very positive. Obviously, I lost some things from my team. One thing no longer inexplicably works, and I'm not sure why, because the patch doesn't say anything about it. But yeah, overall positive for me. Now, I know some people are not going to be happy. Anyone who plays Frieza, you're not going to be happy. Once again, I got to assume that Golden Frieza change is an oversight, because that really critically, badly hurts the use of Golden Frieza. I know a lot of Tien fans aren't going to be happy, because Tien's all about the double super. But yeah, it's very much the intended thing now seems to be they want you to do level 1 super DHC, level 1 super DHC, level 3 super, right? And to be honest, this does help team variety, because now you don't have to feel imprisoned that I gotta play this way, because this is the team that lets me have the double level 1 supers, or triple level 1 supers. Even though it bugs me a bit, I also find it freeing in a way. But what I'm trying to say here is, if you don't like these changes, I won't hold it against you, because I can understand some people quite frustrated for the changes, especially when it comes to like double supers. The guard cancel, though, if you don't like the guard cancel, I'm not going to back you on that one. It's a good change. You can get mad at me all you want on that one. It's a good change. And it's definitely going to be for the best for the health of the game. Anyways, I'm looking forward to where the meta's shaping. I think it's going to be a meta a lot more focused on strong neutral play. I love this personally, and I can't wait, but that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball.